Rise and Shine Rwanda, it's Friday the 12th of December.
Coming up on today's weekly review show.
We take a look back at Legal Aid Week. Is the average citizen getting the legal aid they deserve?
Event planning 101. What goes into a good event? Fidelis shows us the way.
Is the love for local football in decline? Fans gave their opinion on why football matches are attracting less patrons.
And a Christmas play and some tree lighting to get you into the spirit of Christmas. Good morning and welcome to our weekly review show where we take you back through the best of the week here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. It's just gone after 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Regis Isheja.
And I'm Makeda Mahadio. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you a review of the week's top stories, analysis, debate, and insights into the stories making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world. The Rise and Shine crew have throughout the week been diligently gathering and preparing everything you need to know about what's happening here in Rwanda and around the world.
Well, it's been a busy week for us here at the Rise and Shine HQ. One of the most interesting stories that we reported on this week was Legal Aid Week here in Rwanda. Since its conception in 2009, Legal Aid Week has helped many of the most vulnerable people in the country as the government has made justice one of its key priorities. Now, how does this translate into accessible legal services for all for more than just a week? Let's take a look back at yesterday's report.
June Sendiera fled the country in 1994 during the genocide against the Tutsi. Since coming back a year later, along with his siblings, he says he's tried all he can to help his father, an elderly man who claims everyone in his family, including his own wife, has a personal vendetta against him. They're meeting today at the family house as part of Legal Aid Week in Rwanda to air out their dirty laundry in front of legal aid workers.
nuko iyindi miryango nayo yagiye ibona ibindi bibazo biri ahandi bakoreye nko mu yindi mirenge twe tutakoreyemo iyo Legal Aid Week irangiye bagenda barangira mu miryango aho ikorera iri hafi yaho abaturage batuye tukabasha gukomeza kubakurikirana aho bishoboka tukabafasha niyo bitabashije ku rwego rwa organisation iyo bidashobotse tubizamura ku rwego rwa LAF Legal Aid Forum nayo ikakorana na baro kugira byo kubashakira abavoka bakubatishoboye na minijiste kugira bya bibazo tuba twagiye tubona muri cya cyumweru bikomeze kugenda bibonerwa ibisubizo.
Many workers are going around the country this week to educate and help those who cannot afford lawyer fees.
Harigiwe bayumva ko yarenganye ariko mu byukuri atarenganye tukamugira inama tukanamubwira nicyo itegeko rivuga. Hari noneho nabaza bararenganye ari nabo dukunze guhura nabo kenshi turahagera tukareba ikibazo kiri he twasanga twamara kubona uko ikibazo kimeze icyo gihe umuturage tukaba twakurikirana ikibazo cye kikagira no mu nkiko noneho twebwe nk'abafasha mu mategeko tukaba twabashakira n'abavoka.
But do those with few means and living far from cities feel the impact of legal help?
Ziradufasha ku buryo kuko tubakeneye turababona bakagenda badufasha ku bibazo dufite rimwe na rimwe bakadusanga no mu ngo tukababwira ikibazo dufite na bagenzi bacu bakagerageza kugikemura ubundi bakatwunganira bitaba bishobotse ngo batwunge byumvikane bakaturangira izindi nzego twakwiyambaza kugira ngo ibibazo byacu bibone igisubizo.
From land disputes to family disagreements, legal aid workers are doing all they can to smooth out the differences, but mostly to give every Rwandan a chance at justice.
Ubundi ubusanzwe iki cyumweru tuba twakimenyeshejwe tukamenya yuko hari ubufasha, hari abanyamategeko bazaza bakatwegera bakamanuka mu kagari mu mudugudu kugira ngo babashe gufasha abaturage mu bijyanye n'amategeko, yaba kubisobanukirwa, yaba ari abafitanye amakimbirane, abarengera abandi, ese abatarahawe iminani, abashaka kuzungura, ibibazo bijyanye no kuzungura, ariko ibi byose ahanini biba bishingiye ku butaka.
Here's to hoping lawyers all over the country will follow suit. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
And joining us now in studio is Frank Mugisha from the Legal Aid Forum and Brenda Kaitezi from Human Rights First Rwanda Association. How are you guys doing?
Welcome, guys.
Welcome to the show. So my first question, I think I'm going to gear towards Brenda. Do you think that the average citizen here in Rwanda knows their legal rights?
No, I'd say the average citizen doesn't know her rights, or his rights for that matter. And that's where we come in. As legal aid providers, our job is to go to those people at the grassroots level who don't know what's happening and educate them on their rights, help them access those rights.
Right.
Now, Frank, she's talking about grassroots. I happened to have been at the grassroots not too long ago, actually yesterday, and what happened is I spoke to certain people there, and they seem to starting to be knowledgeable about it. There's legal aid workers that are actually going there to help them. Now, do you think this is a countrywide kind of thing, or is it just in Kamonyi at the moment?
No, actually, the Legal Aid Week is a countrywide activity. We work together with different organizations, the Ministry of Justice, the Supreme Court, prosecution, the Bar Association, and the police. So in each and every district, we identify, now we have 3 sectors in which we work. And we've been communicating this through the local leaders, through different announcements, radio advertisements. We've also given out advertisements in different churches. So people are being informed about these common points where they can meet our legal aid providers and then they can seek assistance from them. So it's a countrywide activity and we have 3 sectors in each and every district.
So, Brenda, I wanted to ask, recently at the beginning of Legal Aid Week, we had an analyst on the show and we were talking about the rights of prisoners. Okay, so apparently there has been some tension. Some people are saying that they shouldn't be getting their pension or the family shouldn't be receiving pension. Rather, the taxpayers' money should be going to, survivors or other things. What's your take on this?
My take as a human rights activist, every human being has a right. And whether you're a prisoner or not, at a certain point, they have families. So I feel that their families are entitled to something. And even them, you're not going to serve for the rest of your life. So some of them might need something to fall back on after they leave the prison.
Right.
All right, Frank, when it comes to lawyers here in Rwanda, not too long ago there was a journalist that was on the show that was telling us that there's not more than 600 lawyers in the entire country. Now, how does it work with you guys? Do you actually go to them? Are they available? Do they actually say no sometimes to going like deep inside the country? How does it work?
Yeah, actually, maybe just for information is that now the number of lawyers have actually increased because now we used to have 2 bodies. There was a bar association and then we used to have a body of judicial defenders. So now they merged. So now we have more than 1,000 lawyers, I would say. And we are actually seeing an increasing number of lawyers going to these, deep rural areas. They used to be concentrated in Kigali here, but now we are seeing them going to rural areas. So regarding the Legal Aid Week itself, we usually have a partnership with the Bar Association, and so we identify together the number of lawyers that should participate in this Legal Aid Week, and then we give them dossiers. So we facilitate them, we provide just facilitation fee. I wouldn't call it maybe payment because it's very minimal. So it's just facilitate them to go to. So we have a bunch of lawyers like this year who are providing legal representation and assistance to the minors, to the detained minors and those who are out but accused of any crime. And we also have another bunch of lawyers who provide legal representation to women who are pregnant or maybe you are detained with kids in prisons. Yeah.
So to Brenda or Frank, do you find that, we're 20 years after the war and, it seems as though things are quite peaceful. Do you find that young people coming out of school or even still in school, are they interested, are they motivated in joining in or and trying to work towards human rights education or towards legal aid?
Okay, probably if I can say something on that. As our organization, we work with INLAC University. So we work very closely with the students. We go with them. They perform very well during our outreach programs. So they are very involved as a university, and you see the way, because this is practical. They get us a chance to put in practice what they really study in theory. So it's a very good thing. You see the positive input.
I would also add that not only in LAC, but all universities that have a law faculty, they are all part of the Legal Aid Forum. So we have the University of Rwanda, we have ULK, Kigali Independent University. So all these universities have legal clinics. So they are part of the Legal Aid Forum, and we are seeing an increasing interest in this legal aid services. Apart even from the Legal Aid Week, through their legal clinics, they provide these services for charge. So we are seeing this enthusiasm from these students who are studying law.
Now, the thing I wanted to know is when you go deep inside the country and you talk to populations, we know Gachacha was really good. We know Abunzi are really good. Now, are these systems basically catching up only in villages and inside the country, or are they coming to the cities as well? Like Rubavu and Huye and Musanze and all these other cities?
Yeah, I would say it's also in these cities. It's something that is, in the whole country, be it in rural areas or in the cities. But regarding the Legal Aid Week, we mainly focus in rural areas because this is where you find that these services are not reaching very well. So even when we are selecting the sites where we are going to work in, we focus on those rural areas because they are the ones that usually face these injustices, or maybe who are not very well informed. Right. They are the places where you find very poor people, because in these towns like you're talking about Rubavu or Ramagana, whatever, you find people are knowledgeable about how they can find legal assistance. Maybe some are even able to hire lawyers. Right. So we focus on those deep rural areas.
Okay.
You guys are doing a great job.
Legal Aid Week, man, is a lot being done. Right. Thank you so much for joining us, Frank Mugisha, and of course, Brenda Kaitezi. Frank Mugisha and Brenda Kaitezi over there telling us, educating us about Legal Aid Week. Right. And I actually really enjoyed that. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know. And I'm glad that there's, activity in that sector, because it's something that's extremely important, right?
It's very important, absolutely.
Now, another story that really caught our attention this week was the barbershop culture. Long thought to be a women thing, taking care of your looks is not just as much, actually it is just as much of a men thing these days, as you showed us. Of course, a fresh look starts out with a haircut. Enter barbershops, the favorite gathering spot for men after bars. Okay, in Rwanda, barbershops mean much more than just your average haircut. It's a culture, so take a look.
It's one of the moments I look forward to the most on a weekly basis. I call it getting my fresh on. I come here at this barbershop salon to get what's commonly known as the one-blade haircut. It just feels right. Long known as a women thing in Rwanda, getting a frequent haircut has become just as much a men thing.
Salon de coiffure, yani nimekuja kugeuza vitu. Tunakumbuka zamani ya kale walikuwa watunywa na wembe, wapiga mkasi. Haki kwa hivi unakuja, hakuna tatizo. Ni mashine yani yako ile ya zamani mkasi, unakuwa na mavitu maperopere. Ile salon de coiffure kwa imekuja, iko vizuri sana.
In Rwanda, barbershops are not only the gossip chit-chat spot they are worldwide. Your barber is also your BFF and your confidant. He knows everything about you. I mean, who better to trust than someone who has complete control over your look? right?
Yani msaloni tu kwa vile kwa ambiance mingi sana. Yani ukija huko na matatizo kama umechanganyikiwa kidogo au kuna matatizo ya kazi, ukiingia msaloni tu kwa vile kani kuna kunyoa, sio kuongesha vizuri. Suivant na kisi umekuja. Lakini najua tuko umefurahi hata wewe umeviona, tukaona mablage, tunaongea na wateja vizuri. Tu mtu anafurahi sana.
And the goodies don't end there. Right after getting your hair cut, a lady who specializes in washing hair makes sure you leave the barbershop feeling completely fresh. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Rwandan unique approach to the barbershop culture. And that's when the fun starts. From the latest music video to the hottest movie out or your usual football chat, the barbershop experience in Kigali lasts long after the haircut. This is my favorite spot in the entire city. This is where I come to get my fresh on. And clearly, I love this place because I come here, we talk about music, we talk about sports. I mean, you've heard what they say about barbershops, right? It is the best gathering place you can ever find. I mean, this is where everybody comes to have fun.
Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter ever lived. Oh, come on, man. What about Joe Louis?
The Brown Bomber. Now, that was a great boxer.
You damn right. I suppose nobody in here ever heard of Cassius Clay. We got a point. And Clay ain't bad. I'm just saying I stopped liking Cassius Clay once he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. His mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Ndio unasema sasa Messi ndio Jerome alikuforesha.
Tangu.
Utimu anakuambia fenomeno.
Anakuambia na ni kama na mimi nikwambie Zidane.
Pale si tuweza sikilizana. Pale tunaweza sikilizana. Akili sinyamese Pele.
Sio nakwambia mimi sikumuonaga. Watu wenyewe walimuonaga. Mara kuambia kama alikuwa extraordinaire.
Zidane haiko joueur extraordinaire.
Zidane ile wakati wao, hii wakati Zidane alikuwa vitu vingine.
Sio unasema. Mungu ashikontredire hivi.
Nasema alors que na mimi niona kisa anacheza.
Mais ukumbuke kitu moja, Pele na Ronaldo. Fenomeno, balikuwa avant centre. Bakia bonjua yaze, biko besoin kaumi bafike miguu. Alors que joueur sa Zidane. Bajoueur sa Zidane ba Maradona, balikuwa daka kaumbu mu centre à terrain. Des fois même baradia nyuma, banaenda daka kaumbu ku ba récupérateur, banapanisha ballon. Mpaka mbele banapatia ba Ronaldo, banapatia ba joueur sa ba Pele. Comment unaweza comparer attaquant avant centre na joueur mwenye alikuwa kamata kaumbu na ibulula depuis kula na ibea mpaka mbele? Unaweza comparer? There's a barbershop in Kigali every 100 meters, so when it comes to investment, you know this is one that will last. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
That looks like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a heaven for any man that I know that's into sports, music, entertainment in general.
Man, do you guys gossip sometimes? Don't lie. Don't lie.
Let's just move on to the next thing. What I did is we actually took to the streets to see how the people of Kigali feel about this barbershop culture. Take a look.
Mu byumweru bitatu
umwuga wacu uragenda neza kabisa nta kibazo bakiriya baraza mbona nta kibazo kabisa.
Salon de coiffure hapa Rwanda mimi naona iko inaendelea vizuri kwa sababu wateja tuko tunawapata kama kawaida, naona hakuna shida kabisa.
Ndamesa wano abagabo mu mutwe niko akazi nshinzwe gukora kandi karafasha cyane abagabo baza bihuta bafite naho baje cyangwa mu kazi, ariko iyo bageze muri salon bakabakira bakabogosha natwe tukabakira tukabamesera mu mutwe vuba ukabona akazi kabo kagenda neza kandi baragikunda bakanabyitabira cyane.
Bimaze gutera imbere cyane, ndabona abantu benshi basigaye babyitabira cyane.
Iyo wabahaye serivisi nziza uyu munsi ejo baragaruka bakomeza bakabyitabira ukabona byagenze neza.
Hata wasichana wengi walishaingia ndani kwa kujifunza hiyo kazi ya kukosha wanaume mkichwa, na kwa sababu ya usafi nayo unakutana kuja alishachafuka kwa kichwa na ile mamvuvu ziko mingi, wanafika wanamkosha mara moja, na inatusaidia zaidi kwa sababu wanafika wanakwenda hata kwa kazi bila kurudi nyumbani bila kukoga kwa sababu walishamkosha mkichwa vizuri.
Okay, and we have the Rise and Shine men here in the studio with us now. Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
A lot of testosterone going on here.
A lot of manly men happening. So tell me, what I was thinking when I was watching that was looking at the hair washing ladies.
Right.
I'm like, these girls must be getting marriage proposals left and right because I know that's the favorite part of so many guys' experience at the barbershop? They're always talking about the head massage and, you know, the light stroking. What's your guys' favorite part?
I mean, it is my favorite part, and I gotta say, I'm a good tipper. I always tip every time because it's my favorite part.
It's worth it, right?
It's totally worth it. In fact, I wouldn't even leave without getting my hair washed. It's part of the procedure.
Okay.
Arnold, how has the barbershop experience been for you? You've lived all over the place. I mean, you've lived in Africa. You've seen how other cultures approach the barbershop culture. What has been your experience so far?
I think it's the connection you make with women. We are very loyal to our barbers. You know, you usually have this one guy. If he is not at the barbershop, you're not going to cut your hair that day. If the barber is not there, the one who always cuts your hair, you're not going to.
You know, I never understood that. Why?
I'll make it simple. It's very easy. I've had the same barber since 1994.
Lord have mercy.
And he's been moving from barbershop to barbershop, but I still follow him wherever he goes. Why? Because he knows your head perfectly, because we don't have the same head sizes, obviously. And then he knows exactly how you like your cut to be. Mine is one blade, another one, what they call number one, right? Another one might want a number two. Oh, wow. You may want a mohawk tomorrow. I don't know.
You have like a PhD in cutting hair. You cut your own hair.
It's what I do.
But the thing is, you know what? These guys are professionals, right? So why do people think that they have to continuously go back to the same person?
It's loyalty.
Loyalty.
Even the conversation you have with this guy, usually when you get this one barber and you connect and you talk about soccer all the time, or he's going to ask you, what happened in the Premier League. He's going to tell.
I say it in the video. I mean, it's clear. What
you just bond with anyone that you can talk sports with.
I say it in the video. You become BFFs. And the thing is, he knows everything about you. And I say, obviously, if this man is responsible of your look, who else to trust, right? You want to trust him.
So what if one day, he's cutting your hair, you're at your favorite barber, and, I don't know, he sneezes or something, and you have a huge chunk out of your hair. Would you continuously go?
That's an accident. That can happen. We're very loyal. See, this is what we do. But the thing is, you have to remember, I mean, we don't just go there for the barbershop in itself. It's a culture. Like you saw in Coming to America, that's the place where people go to talk about sports, to talk about music, to talk about movies. And it's a great place to actually be able to chat and be men. That's what we go to bars for.
Like for the working men, it's a great place to relax.
Exactly.
And also to get a lot of new ideas, because you meet different types of people. You meet a lawyer, you meet a salesman, so you tend to get a lot of ideas from the barbershop.
Sorry to cut you, but I saw one of the guys in the video saying that he's starting to get a bit less clientele. Why do you think that is? Because what is the alternative? Growing your hair?
Or? Obviously, what's happening is there's a lot of barbershops in Kigali, in Rwanda in general, in Kigali in particular. I mean, there's so many of them. It's been going on now for a lot of years.
But there's such a huge market for it.
The market is huge, but like we say, we're very loyal. So if you open a new barbershop today, we're not going to just go there because you open a new barbershop. I mean, we're going to stay loyal to our guy. Unless our guy goes there, then you'll see Regis and you'll see Arnold and you'll see Alan. But it changes. It's tough. It's a tough business. You want to invest in it because it's so popular. But at the same time, I mean, loyalty is loyalty, absolutely.
Right. Oh my gosh. I did not know that this was such a complicated world. I thought that it was the ladies who went this crazy about the salons, but
men are loyal.
Apparently you people are all loyal too. Okay. You guys really taught me a lot about the whole barbershop culture here. You know what? I've seen the movies. You had a little clip of Coming to America. I've seen that, and I've seen barbershop and stuff. And it seems like it really is, somewhere where people go to relax and hang out. But I didn't know that it was the same here in Rwanda.
It's the exact same thing. I mean, people go here they go there to relax and mostly to talk.
And to get that head massage, don't lie.
Absolutely. What do you mean? Obviously.
Oh,
no, it's a great thing. I think it's one of the greatest things we have here. I have friends that came over from Canada, and they were completely shocked when they got here. I took them to a barbershop here. They couldn't believe everybody wanted to be friends with them. They couldn't believe the head massages. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, it's some feedback that I hear sometimes from some expats. They come and, you know, they say they're used to getting haircuts, of course, their whole life, but they're not used to being treated so well. You know, they have the little...
For so little compared to how expensive it is over there.
Exactly. So they end up getting like 2-3 haircuts in like a week and a half. It's awesome, man.
It's unbelievable.
I'll never understand fully. But, you know, now I'm a little bit jealous of the whole barbershop culture. Maybe one day I'll myself.
Hey,
we'll see what happens.
Do what you gotta do. You're watching the review edition of Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Neshi?
Hey, kid.
Kobe Bryant? Would you like to have some ice cream, young man?
Ice cream? Sí.
The best fly with Europe's best airline, Turkish Airlines.
Okay, welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda, the review. Now, there were some really big business stories in the news this week, from improvements in the agriculture sector to the events planning business. Let's take a look back.
Rwanda has seen many events management companies emerge over the years, catering from small to big occasions. But we still see some flaws in the various events that happen in the country. Fidelis took a visit into this young but flourishing industry. Take a look.
Businesses are starting up in Rwanda daily. Little has been done to develop the events management industry. And this can be seen in the lack of time management and professionalism in most of the events that happen in the country. For these parents, however, Her concern is that despite this being the festive season, there is not enough activities planned for her children.
Events, they're not quite many. So I think there's more that has to be done, but this is a very good initiative which shows that maybe in the near future we shall have many more events like this, just for adults.
This raises the question, why is it that despite the availability of demand, there's still not enough well-organized events for people to attend? For Janine, she feels that the best way to tackle this problem is for people to personally organize events on their own.
I think we should all feel that it's our responsibility. We shouldn't always just wait for one company to come up.
With that said, clearly there is room to do business in this industry, an opportunity that young entrepreneurs can maximize on. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda. Joining us in studio, Ahaba and Faria from Makaifa Group. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, tell me, why did you guys decide to get into event management in particular?
Well, events management in particular, we are very passionate with it, first of all, and it's a sister family sort of thing, so we decided to have partnership with all of us, and to do it. Basically, yeah.
So what are the challenges that you face in this business? I mean, we come to events, we see time management is terrible, some things are not professional. Tell us from your point of view, what are some of the challenges that you face every day that, that you have to go through?
Yeah, for example, when you're doing an event management business, or people especially like, one problem is to market what you're going to do in the first place, and even how the public is going to pursue, as in to know about it, or how will they know that you will do it very well. So in most cases you find when other, like this kids event we did, parents were like, will it be nice? So you have to do so that you like make people happy when they come on your event. Are they what are their expectations? Have they really got their expectations? So you find it more challenging.
And actually, it's out on what she's saying. The biggest challenge I particularly saw is that parents are scared to spend. I don't know, people say they love their kids, but when you tell them it's this and they're going to get ABCD, they're very scared to spend. And at the same time, they're like, okay, we hope the show won't be a flop. So that is the biggest challenge for us, really. And as well as moving to look for sponsorships. Usually companies are also worried they're going to really make profit. It's going to be, looking at the leverage. So they're like, okay, you know what, do it. Come back next time and we'll see if it's really something they can actually invest in. So looking at what we actually did, me and Saidat and my sisters, we basically decided to do this event purely on our own. We didn't go to any company. All because they want to show them that we're able to do it, and actually if you give us your money or if you actually come and promote this, it can really be something, hopeful for the future. Yeah.
Now we know you've done huge events like the Kwita Izina, I have to call you out on that. But tell us, is there any particular kind of training that you guys went through so that if there's someone who's watching our show today and they want to do exactly what you're doing, they can learn from you? Is there anything special that you guys have had to do to have such a successful events management company?
Actually, to be quite honest with you, it's absolutely, it's like I tell you, do you have to actually work on radio you have to be a journalist? Well, no. Do you have to work on radio when you have those papers? It's absolutely no. It's the talent and passion to do it. So it's a simple response. We never went to school for that. I did finance, and
actually, it's my field because I did Bachelor's of Entrepreneurship. So I'm so creative. So that was my thing. Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't see as many people getting into events management. According to you, what would you say is the reason that pushes people away from this? And is it as profitable as maybe we see it is from the outside? Is it actually profitable? Do you encourage people to get into events management?
Well, I'll say that said, first of all, you have to be creative. And when you're going to events, don't look at making profit right away. Just look at how you're going to make people really love what you're doing. People have to fall in love with your activities. Once they do, you'll start making money. So and also, you know, we're always scared to lose out. You've invested and probably, you know, all your saving is there. So it's really hard, you know. But that's what they should take risks if they really, really love it. It's something. It's like any other business. In case before you do something, first love it and be sure that you will be able to come up and, you know, continue doing it.
And always in the first place, when you're starting a business, you need not to get profits. Because if you get profits in the first deal, honestly, you will not be put in more energy, more effort, and be maybe creative and innovative. No, you won't. So it's better when you start, make losses. It will make you think.
So that's the motto. Make losses. Then
make losses. Yeah.
But make sure you break even.
Very good message there. Thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you for inviting us.
Great video there by Fidelis, great report. Now, Makeda, when you look around the city of Kigali, since it's where we live, what do you think about events here? I know you've been emceeing at some of them and how they're being managed. What do you think of them?
You know what, there's really great ones and there's some that could use a little bit more organization, you know what I mean? And that will happen. And she actually had a great point at the end of that interview saying, you know, make mistakes, you know, make some losses and just learn from it, you know, because I think that a lot of people sometimes they'll get into an industry and then if it doesn't go exactly the way that they wanted it to go or that they expected, they'll kind of just back out. Right. Or, you know, maybe they'll just lay down for certain things where, no, you can make a change, you can, you know, do well. I'm glad to see that there are companies out there that are taking this seriously. And I've seen some other event management companies launching recently as well. So I'm extremely excited to see what's going to come because, you know, if there's anything about me, I love a good event. All right, you are watching Rise and Shine Rwanda's weekly review show. Let's take a look back at the week that was in sports with Arnold Kwizera. Welcome back. Well, we had some interesting sports stories this week from tennis in Rwanda, some football and some basketball highlights. To fans' response to football in the country. Tell us more, Regis.
Well, Makeda, that's very right. We wanted to find out if football fans are happy with the running of the game in the country. Earlier this week, Arnold caught up with some of the lovers of the beautiful game to find out what they think. Let's take a look back.
Popular sport in the country, and lately the number of people going to the football stadiums to watch games has started to dwindle. It's common to find empty stands at a stadium, as will be spectators who prefer listening to the game over the radio rather than spend their hard-earned money to watch their favorite local club.
Fans pay a lot of money to come to the stadiums and watch their heroes. Today we take it from the stadiums and onto the streets to find out how they feel about the sports.
Some fans think the problem is the lack of belief in the local tacticians.
Icyo mbona kigomba gukorwa mu Rwanda nuko bagomba kwita ku banyarwanda b'abana bari gutukura kuzamuka uko nka Rayon Sports twatwiringiye aba bakinnyi bose b'abanyamahanga bose nta na kimwe bakoze.
The ongoing National Football League is 10 playing days old and still without a sponsor. Are the current football administrators doing enough to keep the fans interested?
Usanga abayobora abari muri federation batakurikiza amategeko uko yakabaye cyangwa se hari byo birengagiza.
Recently, the Tour of Rwanda, a cycling event, was successfully held in the country and sponsored to the tune of 300 million francs. Does this tell the lack of ambition with the football authorities?
Federation irakora ariko ntago giye nayishima ijana ku ijana. Na nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika yavuze ijambo ryiza igihe yakiraga abanyamagare. Ni byiza ko hari abantu beza ugomba kureberaho no mu byo twatojwe mu ntore harimo ijambo rivuga ngo intore n'inkore neza bandebereho. So nkuko abanyamagare bagaragaje mu myaka 6 ibyo bagezeho, federation yacu nayo nayigira inama nireke kwirukira guhita igera kuri bi yayo hataragera, igende gake ifata igihe yihinego nituza ibintu byose bizagenda neza.
For most of these football fans, football isn't just a game, it is a ritual, a way of life. A moment many hold dear, and changes should come soon if the football leaders want the beautiful game to go back to its golden days. Arnold Kwizera, Rise and Shine, Rwanda.
Rayon sports fans, very loyal, very vocal.
Very
now, one of the things that caught my attention in this video is this fanatic at the stadium who's saying, in this particular game, at the game he was at, we expected foreigners to do great, to showcase their skills, and unfortunately they did not showcase that. And why don't we invest in our people, in our players? What do you think about that statement?
I think it's a very correct statement. You know, it echoes what the FERAFA is saying, not doing, you know, because those are two different things, what you say and what you do. FERAFA have been talking about putting an under-15 and under-17 league in place for the past 2 years. We have not had that yet. When you look at the Ombudsman Cup that took place over the weekend, the two teams that go to the finals are coached by locally based, you know, tacticians who were molded, you know, in Rwanda, who have learned all their coaching in Rwanda. Now, the other two teams who are the biggest giants in the game, that's Rayon Sport and APR, are being coached by tacticians from, you know, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Petrovic, who's from Serbia. So it's, you wonder why aren't the local coaches being given, you know, these big clubs. That's why I think we keep complaining when it comes down to the national team, because you bring in a foreign coach who hardly knows anything about Rwandan football players, and he has to watch games, and he has to pick players that are being given to him, you know, that kind of thing. So we're getting this problem, and I think the fan has every right to say what he is saying.
Another statement that was made towards the end of the video by this lady who said, the president welcomed Valens Ndaisenga, the cyclist that made us very proud. And she's saying maybe that's going to trickle down to other sports as well. Now, what you mentioned in the video is that Tour de Rwanda got sponsored to the tune of 300 million Rwandan francs. Why can't football be that organized? And it's the king competition here. It's the king sport.
Yeah, football, yes, no doubt it's the biggest sport in the country, but it has lagged behind when it comes to organization and sponsorship over the past years.
Why is that?
I think it comes down to the one, egos within the administration, and two, are these people competent enough to run football? What are they bringing new to the table? You know, the people who are in the Football Association, that's FERAFA. Because there's no way we are going to run a football league without a reserve league. That doesn't work anywhere if you want to promote football. You don't wake up in the morning and bring up rules, you know, that have to be followed by every club without consulting the clubs first. You know, I think so many of the rules, in fact, one of the fans was saying, these people, football authorities, don't follow the rules themselves. Most of the rules that are made are impulse rules, you know, emotional rules. We are banned from CHAN, and then let's ban naturalized players. They never take blame for their own mistakes.
All right. Now, when it comes to football in Rwanda, what do you think is going to be our saving grace? I mean, is it just changing the way the administration works inside of FERAFA, or is it going to take new blood? Is it going to be like new people, former players? Because we have former players in Rwanda, people that actually love the sport to make the culture change here.
I won't say that people running it don't love the sport. They do love the sport, but I think we need a general mindset change within FERAFA, you know, to adapt to what we call evolution. You know, they need to accept some new changes and take up these new changes, and then maybe pick ideas from Ferasi, because when you look at the Tour of Rwanda, which is under Ferasi, they know they can't run the whole shopping. So what do? They pick someone from the Tour de France. You know, they pick people who have been around the world, who have run these cycling events to run it. Maybe football needs someone like that, finally.
When it comes to sports here in Rwanda in general, from what you got to talking to these people on the streets, is football still the #1 sport here, or do you feel like other sports are taking over and maybe football might lag behind?
I think football is still the #1 sport here, and it will be for a very long time. But people are getting less interested. People now watch the soccer matches on their phones, you know.
Listen to them on their
They
phones,
just listen to their phones and they watch the English Premier League. You know, they're no longer going to the stadiums.
Why is that?
I think it's one, they're losing the interest in the game. They're losing the interest. Generally, they're losing interest in the game. Every time you hear of wrangles and wrangles, it's like when you hear your neighbor and there are wrangles all the time, you won't want to visit them. I think that's the problem.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Arnold.
Thank you.
Look at as popular as football is worldwide, it's still the number one, the most popular sport in the world. I feel like in Rwanda, cycling is taking over, especially with Valence Naisenga winning the tour and also becoming number 5 in Africa. So we'll see. Let's wait and see if football gets back to where it used to be.
Definitely.
Oh, all right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a look at this week's lifestyle story. Lifestyle now, but before we get into it, it's time to announce the winner of our movie ticket competition. Yesterday, Alan announced that he will be giving away 2 free movie tickets to whoever answered the movie question, which was, what is the famous line used in The Terminator? Is it A, hasta la vista baby, B, I'll be back, or C, show me the money? And the answer is, I'll be back. Try to do my best Schwartz impersonation there.
You could have done better than that.
Right.
Like, you know, I'll be back. It's more like
That's
that.
better. That's way better.
Like that, right? Okay, there you go. The answer's there on the screen. So the first person to answer was Jefferson Allen. You get 2 tickets to watch any movie of your choice at Century Cinema this weekend. Enjoy. Don't worry if you missed out this time. We've got lots of goodies to give away in the coming weeks. With Christmas just around the corner, some schools are already beginning to celebrate the festive season. One school organized a sold-out Christmas play, which was attended by many parents, friends, and students. Alan went to check it out.
To kick off the festive season, Kigali International Community School showcased a theater play entitled A Christmas Carol. The dessert theater play was sold out quickly, with many parents, family members, and friends attending the two-day show in large numbers. I caught up with some of the young thespians after the show to find out what the experience was like to perform live on stage.
Yes, it was my first time acting in a play, like an actual play. Her name is Mrs. Gilbert, and she is an Irish maid for the bitter and awful Mr. Scrooge. She doesn't like her job, and she does as much as she can to provide for her family.
Although a lot of the students hadn't been in plays before, one of the actors who played the main character said that he's even considering pursuing an acting career after he graduates.
I've been thinking about it lately, actually, yeah, because I'm in grade 12, so a lot of people have been asking me, like, all right, what are you going to do in college? So it's kind of like, what am I going to do in college? So I've been thinking about it. I'll definitely want to keep on acting.
The theater director also says the experience was quite new for most students. However, the students worked very hard, and for the most part, it was a chance for them to come out of their shell.
It's just tremendous. I think theater is kind of like nothing else. You become a family and you get to kind of come out of yourself and try new things that maybe you think you could never do. So we had a lot of kids this time especially who had never done theater before, so this was their first time experience. And everybody just seemed to really enjoy it. They had a lot of fun. They really interacted well with each other. It's tremendous.
With the holidays almost here, I had to ask what the students were most looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to family, spending time with family during the Christmas season.
So whether it's Christmas carols or Christmas plays, 'tis the season to be jolly. Alan Karakire, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
All right, really adorable play there. Let me ask you, someone that you know was an actor himself, you said that you studied theater and stuff like that. How did the kids do?
They did very well. I was actually very impressed, especially being that the teacher said that a lot of them was their first time actually being part of a play. I was quite impressed, and the thing is, it actually reminded me of my childhood too. I don't know if you did plays when you were young.
Oh, definitely. I definitely did.
Yeah, and especially when it comes to Christmas. Like I remember when I was a kid, I played one of the shepherds. What did you play one of your Christmas
Oh, what
play?
do I remember? I think I played in a Christmas production, I will call it, every year, but I always had different, I don't remember, man. I have such bad memory about that time.
Did you enjoy it though? I love it. Like
I mean, it looked really, really cute. I wish I could have seen something like that. Do you know if any other schools are going to be doing any Christmas plays? Because this does seem like...
No, definitely. In fact, that's something I'm looking into right now, because as part of the whole Christmas thing, I'm trying to bring you as many Christmas events as possible. So stay tuned and I'll make sure I get you one too.
Okay, definitely looking forward to that.
Still on the Christmas festivities, families, corporate companies, as well as various businesses are playing their part in settling the Christmas spirit. Alan recently visited one hotel that decided to host a tree lighting ceremony for their clients, families, and friends. Let's check it out.
All was merry as crowds of different ages came to attend the tree lighting ceremony at Grand Legacy Hotel. Particularly joyful were the staff of the hotel, who said it was important for them to share the festive occasion with their loyal customers.
The event was basically going by the theme of the month, which is Christmas and New Year celebrations, the festive season. Decided to call in all our corporate and tour and individuals who have been supporting us to join as a family and mark the beginning of Christmas by lighting a Christmas tree.
Then came that moment we had all been waiting for, when the special guest, the Minister of Sports and Culture, Joe Habineza, and a young little girl called Samantha officially lit up the Christmas tree. I caught up with the minister, who says he was very impressed since he had never attended a tree lighting ceremony in Rwanda before.
Actually, it's the first time I see it in Rwanda, but many East African countries, even West Africa, they like, especially those who were colonized by UK, by the English people.
He also had a special message for our Rise and Shine viewers.
Wish them well, they should enjoy and celebrate life, because life is unique, so you have to celebrate it, and just make commitments for New Year to come, so that we get more happiness, more results, more money.
And of course, what would Christmas be without kids? I talked to young Samantha, who for her, Christmas is only about one thing. That's right, it's time to get busy wrapping up those Christmas presents, putting up the Christmas tree, and spending quality time with loved ones.
Merry Christmas!
Alan Karakire, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
That was so cute. I mean, those kids killed me.
They were adorable, yeah.
So tell me, the event was just for a Christmas tree lighting, or is it like their month of celebrations? What was it?
No, it's the beginning of the Christmas festival. Basically, they wanted to do something special for their clients, their families, and their friends of the hotel, and they want to basically continue on to have more events, especially for Christmas and for New Year's Eve.
Right, so you as the official lifestyle entertainment guy of the show,
Yes.
do you see that there are a lot more of these kind of events popping up? I know I attended one myself.
Absolutely. In fact, the interesting thing was, for the minister, it was his first time ever being invited to an event like that. But ever since I shot this, there's been like at least 2 other events I've heard of that have a Christmas lighting ceremony. So I think it's something that's taking on, that people are doing.
Do you have a Christmas tree at home?
I don't, but I really want to get one.
So
do you?
I know, but I'm the same. I really do want to get one.
I want to get one. It's not too late. Christmas is not here.
All these Christmas tree lightings are really inspiring me. But why do you think, because like you said, this year is the year that I've seen so many more of these kind of events happening. Last year we saw there was a big Coca-Cola tree that was there, and a few different hotels and stuff had some. But I hadn't heard of a Christmas tree lighting in Kigali before. Why do you think this year it seems like Christmas is just blown up?
You know what, I hate to say it, but I feel like it's the whole like commercializing it, which is something that is more common in in other countries in East Africa. But I guess Rwanda is starting to pick up a little bit of that.
So do you think that people are going to take advantage of this?
Absolutely.
People that are going to take advantage of this, start getting,
I
know,
mean,
the
for
cash?
me, I think it's a good thing, because I love Christmas. I love everything to do with Christmas. So I think, why not?
So you remember when there was the holiday, not the holiday, the Halloween confusion that happened last year?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that something like this can happen again this year? Because to be quite frank, Christmas is not a part of Rwandan traditional culture,
right?
Just like Halloween wasn't.
But see, the difference between Christmas, I think, and Halloween is that there's no negative connotation of Christmas. At least I've never heard of anyone saying Christmas in a bad way.
Right.
Whereas with Halloween, people who misunderstand Halloween, especially when they see all these gory images of people with blood and whatnot, I can understand why some people see it in a negative way. But with Christmas, it's all about giving back and positivity. Yeah, so I don't see it being seen as a negative thing.
Right. Well, I'm like you. I love Christmas. So anything Christmassy, I'm down for it every time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Rwanda is definitely in more of a festive season. You saw the cute little kids doing their little play, and
really adorable.
It was too much, and of course the Christmas tree lighting. And I even went to a Christmas tree lighting myself. You know, next week, if everyone stays tuned, you know, they'll see we have our special surprise coming up. You do not want to miss out on that one.
Right.
And don't forget that we love to hear your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for all our programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we do. Find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your photos. Or simply check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We'd love to see your feedback and hear your feedback, and do let us know if you have an idea for the program. It is Friday. You've been watching the weekly review edition of Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. We'll be here same time, same place on Monday, so do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a very good day and an even better weekend. Goodbye.
Goodbye.